Two, a new champ is among us. Welcome back to the ONJ YouTube channel. I'm your co-host, Jeremiah.
I'm your co-host Orlando.
I want to give a congratulations to the New York Knickerbockers. Uh, a great season. Um, Ups and downs. Coming back from multiple 20-point leads. But before we get into all that, like, comment, subscribe. Uh, Turn on post notifications. Follow us on all our social medias listed below in the description. But what we got first, though?
I mean, you said it. How about them Knicks, man? How
How
about
about
them
him?
Knicks?
How about him?
The champion. The
Wow.
the city of New York is going crazy. Well, good crazy. They
What,
finally got their championship. Um,
what is it? 50, 53 years?
Something like that.
Yeah.
Been a long
Yeah,
time.
53. 53.
53. Um, they got their revenge from the '99 finals where the Spurs beat them back in '99. So they got their revenge. Shout out Brunson, man. Shout out to Brunson. Um, Many people calling him the King of New York. Many people are arguing where he stands at an all-time greatest Nick of all time list. Some say one, some say two. Um, so it's very impressive that he's even considered one, two, or three. Um, but he did that. He brought a championship to New York. NBA Finals, NBA Finals MVP. Um, Dropped a whopping amazing 45 points. 45
Sheesh.
in a finals closeout game.
That's how you close it out, man.
Incredible.
That's how you
Incredible.
do it.
Incredible thing. What are your thoughts on it?
I mean, just so many layers, man, right? Um, you know, you have you have Brunson, right? It's like it's always a question, right? Like it's kind of like been a question just from other people, like, can he lead a team to a championship, right? Such a small guard. And even also, well, and I want to confirm his height. Because like I don't know if you've heard this. Well, I don't know. 6'2" is not short, is it? I mean, I don't know, is that he looks smaller than 6'2". I don't know why. Maybe it's TV. I don't know if it's the TV or something, but because like, and then I think like I don't know if you ever heard like the saying, like the theory of like you can't really win with a small guard either. I don't know if you've like heard that before. I don't know. Is he considered a small guard to you though? I don't know.
I mean, I guess by NBA standards,
I
they
mean
want
six
everybody to
six.
be they want everybody to be 7 feet.
Like maybe like
Really?
6'4" and above or something. I mean 6'2" is not short though by any means. So I
No,
mean, but
no.
you
Everybody's
know,
taller than me.
but the question was like, like can he lead a team to a championship, right? And would it work, like with his play style and everything? And I mean, there's no more questions, right? Like you said, 40 points in a closeout game. Talk about securing the deal. Talk about like we're not going back to New York. Let's just handle business now. I mean, it was another back and forth game, so definitely a shout out to the Spurs just for, what I mean. What's so, why is that funny?
Did you know that the Spurs led every single game by double digits?
What the headed into halftime, or was it like the third quarter?
Just any point throughout like the game, they had a double digit lead
Yeah,
in every game during the finals.
like I'm wondering, like, cause like last video, what the game five? No, yeah, well, game four, the game four video. I posed the question like I don't know if this was like the Knicks method. You know what I mean? Because they keep like they start out slow every game, and then somehow they figure out they just flip a switch and just turn it back on. Like I don't know, but every game they've kind of followed that pattern. But they come back every time though. You know what I mean? So that's definitely I mean it's coaching, but then it's also I mean I don't know that's strange. It's strange because it's been like that every single game. Like Spurs, and it makes you wonder like is this their strategy? Like this has to be their strategy to I don't know maybe hire him out or something. I don't know. But but definitely a great you know for Brunson to lead this team, you know. And it was great also like because you kind of get to hear, you know, you got to hear on All the Smoke, like you got to hear his story with the Mavs, right? Like, you know, just that whole contract situation and how hard it was for him. Like, you know, even when, you know, like when Luka was out and, you know, him averaging 20 and 6 and, you know, there were still doubts about him getting big money. And then Luka goes down in the playoffs and he produces how he produces in the playoffs, right? And there's still questions about, and then he said, like, you know, there were still questions about, you know, the type of money he should get, you know, and then now he's here, right? So definitely a shout out to himself, you know, for betting on himself for sure. And yeah. And then also, you know, getting some revenge for your dad, right? Like you know, your dad, you know, I believe he was on that Knicks team that it's wild how like stuff like just it's like a circle of life. Like it's just like time repeats itself. Like his dad was on, I believe his dad was on that Knicks team that lost to the Spurs that you mentioned earlier. So for his dad to not only be able to coach against that team, but to coach his son, you know, against that team, I mean, you can't write it up much better than that.
Yeah, just a phenomenal story. And I think a big thing that we have to also point out with Brunson here, not only is he, did all of this for New York, I think some people tend to forget the fact that he took a big discount with New York. Because Brunson could have gotten paid way more money, but he decided, I'm gonna take a pay cut because I want to build a champion. I want you guys to build a championship level team around me because he wanted to bring that championship to New York. So I think that's also important because his sacrifice allowed them to construct this team, one way or another. So that's very important. That he didn't just bring a championship to New York with his scoring, but also through the sacrifices he made off the court with that contract.
Yeah, the price has definitely tripled, quadrupled. Um, you know what I mean? I don't know what's five. What's times five? I don't know, but whatever times five is. But like I mean, the price is gone up. I mean, you bring a championship to New York to Madison Square Gardens, like they're gonna throw the Brinks truck at them. Like shoot, they might you know they might give him a bus, right? You know they might build him a bus. I think that's probably why you know those people were carrying that bus part. Like they're probably gonna build him a bus for him, like a Jalen Brunson bus or something. Like who knows? I mean, like the aftermath is it's pretty intense.
You think they're gonna make? Do you
Um,
think they're gonna make a statue for him in New York?
oh, now this is a I've heard this question about Kawhi too. I don't know. Like with Toronto, like should Kawhi get a statue in Toronto?
No,
Mm.
I don't think Kawhi should get a statue of Toronto.
No, I don't know though. I mean, do they win without him though? Like,
But it's like Kawhi doesn't have that passion for Toronto like Brunson. Like you could tell Brunson likes being in New York.
yeah,
You could tell he's there. Kawhi was like, I'm just here so I don't get fined. I'm trying to do my job and leave type of stuff. Like it
yeah.
didn't feel like he was all in with the Raptors. If he would have stayed, maybe. But he was like, they traded for him. He got them a championship. He was like, I'm out. Don't speak to me about Toronto ever again.
I mean, he did what he had to do. He fulfilled his commitment. You know what I mean? Like the goal is to win. Like we brought you here to compete for a championship, and you know he held up his side of the bargain. But nah, Brunson's definitely nah. I mean he's a dog. You know what I mean? And but what was the question you posed a question?
The statue, does he get a statue
Oh,
in New
statue.
York?
Uh, oh yeah, that's why we are talking about the Kawhi. I mean, that's tough. Does Walt Frazier have a statue?
I
Does
don't.
Patrick
Does
Ewing have a
anybody
statue?
anybody actually have a statue in New York?
That's what I mean. Like you, you got it. If you're skipping over the legends, then that's a problem. You know what I mean? If the person who bought the championship first doesn't have one, then how does Jalen Brunson get one? That don't add up.
I don't know.
I don't know.
They're
Maybe they
calling
gotta
him.
figure out.
I don't know. There's people calling him the greatest Nick of all time. That's all I'm saying.
Hmm, I could see that. But I don't know. I think Walt Clyde Frazier at least deserves one before him though. I don't know. But no, I mean, what you think you think he should get one?
I think he'll get one.
I think so too. I just think I don't know. I just don't know like what's the like does Melo should Melo get one? Like should like I mean it's a lot of guys that you gotta like maybe put in the conversation. You know what I mean?
I don't think there's a lot of guys that you could really put in the conversation. Let's be honest.
I mean, well, I would just say yeah. I would probably say Walt Frazier, um, Paolo Prigioni, and then probably Carmelo Anthony. Like I would say, yeah, like maybe those three.
Mm, debatable.
Debatable.
Yeah.
Which one's debatable?
As much as I like Carmelo, Carmelo's not getting no statue in New York, bro.
Okay, but you cool with Clyde and Pablo?
Okay, maybe.
Yeah.
Just trying to think of the significance. I don't know. Those players were before my time, you know? And I don't think I could speak too much on them. So,
But you didn't see Pablo Prigioni play?
yes. Give him a statue in New York. Yeah.
Come on,
Okay.
come on, man. But no, but definitely shout out to Knicks. Spurs. Uh, I mean, I guess we gotta talk about the obvious. Uh, you know what I mean? So what were your thoughts after seeing, the whole Wemby walk off? That was a lot of big news.
Listen,
Uh,
listen, listen. They want Wemby to be this kind of like face of the league, right?
oh dang, you took my question. Go ahead. Go. No, keep
The
going.
amount of damage that Wemby has done to himself, to his character, I'm telling you, it's gotten to the point where I know I've talked to people who are casual fans, or I've talked to people who aren't NBA fans, but they don't like Wemby.
Dang.
That's how bad it's gotten for Wemby at this point, where they don't.
Mhm.
They've seen the clips of like the dirty plays that Wemby's been doing. We've seen the controversial pushes, the holdings, a lot of the stuff that Wemby's doing, and a lot of people are seeing it. And from casuals to people who know nothing, they just see that clip and they be like, "We completely hate this guy because why is he playing so dirty?" And I think it's done such damage to him in his character, and it's gonna take a lot for him to come back from this because he has a lot of growing to do. He has a lot of
Yeah.
growing to do, honestly.
Because it's like it's weird because the path was there, right? You know what I mean? You're 22 years old. You're in your first finals, at 22, right? And you're competing on a team that's gaining these 20, 30 point leads, but then giving it away for a chopped cheese, right? Like, what I mean? So it's like it's wild, how like they're like the momentum was there. You know what I mean? Like you're gaining this momentum, like even though you did lose, but like y'all went down with a fight. You know what I mean? But then just the little antics, the like you said, the questionable dirty plays, right? And just not showing no sportsmanship, you know, after losing. I mean, yes, it is the finals, but you're 22 years old. Like, what? Most people retire. I don't know, what, maybe 30. I mean, like most greats, like what, retire maybe what, 30, like maybe 30, mid 30s or something like that. So you're 22, you got like 13 more seasons, if more, to get to another championship. And that's more than enough, right? So it was just I mean, you can't really tell somebody how to react, but it just didn't look good just from, you know what I mean? Because the just the keys were there. Like don't make it a John Morant situation. Like you know what I mean? Like like Ja had the keys, but wants to play GTA on IG Live. Like it's just not it's just not it just wasn't worth it. It didn't look worth it to me.
And just for it to also come from like the Spurs organization are so known to like have this disrespect, this mannerism to them, like fundamental basketball, like putting it all on the floor but being, very respectful and all that. And to have the guy who's supposed to be carrying the Spurs legacy into the future behave like this just puts a negative connotation on everything. Not just him, but now you're kind of looking at the Spurs organization too. Like, what's your star player doing? Why is he behaving like this?
And I think since you posed that question, right? You also made me think of something else too. Like I wonder, and I don't know if this was I mean, because you've seen the post conference with, when Greg Popovich kind of introduced Mitch Johnson, like, just saying great words, like he's the guy for the job and things like that. But then you kind of see this. Now they did win, like so. Let's not. I mean, they did what they had. You're supposed to win games, right? So they did win. One of the top three teams in the West, right? But you kind of see these things happen, at this point in the finals, and yes, he's young, but like you said, the culture has kind of been what it's been under Popovich, right? And of course, right, Mitch Johnson is not Greg Popovich. Like nobody's Greg Popovich, right? Like you know what I mean? So it's like for you wonder with these things happening under Mitch Johnson, you wonder, you bring up a great point. Like you wonder if that culture, if he aligns with kind of what the Spurs culture has kind of been, or maybe that was, but then again, I mean, or maybe that was just a Popovich thing, and Mitch Johnson may have his own way of doing things too.
It bring up a good point. I think I want to see how, because we obviously know like Popovich is, in there, he's in
Right.
the front office, he's always with the team. So I kind of wonder what his reaction was to kind of all of this. Um,
Yeah.
because one, you kind of have to think of what his reaction is to how Wemby has been behaving, but also he's kind of been the mentor to Mitch, from a coaching aspect. So you kind of wonder if how that's going, how that relationship is going and building teams up. So how, the difference in how they've kind of coached the team so far.
Yeah. No, for sure. And I mean, in this experience, it's definitely a learning, right? I think the Spurs, like, I love this experience for such a young team, just because, I mean, you know, you know what it takes, right? You know what it takes. You know what it takes to win. You know what it takes to have to, you know what it takes to not win, right? So you're gonna, come back next year and do whatever you gotta do to, make sure you're back in the same position, right? And that's even on coaching as well, right? Like you had mentioned in multiple episodes, right? Like using time, like the use of timeouts. You know what I mean? When, momentum, or you know what I mean, or even just something as just like maybe just controlling the style of play, right? Like maybe not shooting so many threes, when you're not really that type of team, right? Or or it may not be the most efficient in terms of the lead that you have, like maybe you play more smart basketball and valuing each possession, right? So I think this definitely be a great learning experience for him, for sure. But I mean, the Knicks, man, they did not make it easy at all. Clearly, I mean, well, they did make it easy by giving up 30-point leads, but like they were just bored. I don't know. But I mean, they didn't make it easy for him, and they ended up getting the win.
Did you see the post game interview? I think it was I think it was Marcel who had the interview when he mentioned
Talk about it.
how Dylan Harper was frustrated with his changing
He should.
roles and not starting. Um, like I've been mentioning, the big three, and includes Dylan Harper. He's
You're
a
right.
future
You're right.
star. He's a future star in this league. You can't keep putting him off the bench. He has severely, and I mean like severely, outperformed Fox. Um, because Fox was an inside agent for the Knicks in these finals. Basically. And Fox was
What?
even in this last game, Harper was doing amazing things. And I think again, Mitch said after game, what was it, game four, that he trusts Fox, and at the end of the game, the ball was still going to be in Fox's hands. That was a terrible mistake. He should have
He was a
switched Fox
what?
with Harper. What?
He was a what?
An inside agent for the Knicks?
Inside.
I mean,
That's my bad. I really could.
it
That's
is what it is.
hilarious.
It is what it is.
Inside agent is wild. Oh man. Oh, that was it. Oh my bad. That was funny.
You still
Um,
talking that whole time.
inside
Leave
agent
Harper
is
there.
hilarious.
He's outperformed Fox. He needs to start.
I ain't
He's
gonna
the
lie.
future.
I gotta admit it. I gotta admit when I'm wrong. You were right. You were right. Um, I was more so questioning it just because um, you know, just because Dylan Harper's a rookie. He's only done it for 1 year. Fox has done it for multiple years. He's been an all-star, things of that nature. But geez, man, I don't know, man. When so these type of numbers, that Fox is putting up in the finals game, it just makes you wonder, right? Like just what and I don't know, because like you don't just lose. Like I know he didn't just lose the ability to play basketball. It's got to be something else, right? I mean, it's but it's been
There you
tough to
go.
watch. Hmm?
You get an inside agent for the Knicks.
It's been tough. Like it's been tough to watch, man. Like
He's
I mean,
gambling.
just I hope not. I hope not. Those are some serious allegations, and I will not put that on the Kentucky Wildcat. Um, you know, uh, Dora the Explorer mascot. But I think well, yeah, it's hard. But yeah, I think it's something. It's just. But then again, I mean, just don't know. It's just. But then again, you wanna like make a valid reason, but then you see the team get a stop, and then he tries to lay it up for two more meaningless points and gets blocked by a potential defensive player of the year. Um, it's gonna be a long summer, man. Jeez Louise, it's gonna be a long summer. But no, in terms of your original point with Dylan Harper, though, I mean, you can't blame him. I was kind of surprised that Devin Vassell kind of went that in deep. You know what I mean? And that's kind of what I want to get into. Like I'm surprised that he kind of explained, like he kind of pretty much like you usually want to. I don't know. I mean, you usually want to try to keep some things in the locker room. It seems like like it seemed like back then, like it seemed like the locker room was kind of a sacred like place, like what I mean, like we solve problems together, in this room, like what I mean, like what happens in here, like staying here, like in terms of conversations, like in terms of maybe potential verbal disagreements, like things like that, like we it stay like should stay in here, but for him to say all that, it's I mean for Fox is you gotta feel a little questionable, but then I mean, he wasn't wrong. Now, I'm not saying what he said was wrong about Harper. I mean, Harper's that guy. And I mean, he has a right to, feel like he should get more playing time. But I think just it's kind of like, and I mean, I don't know if I'm reaching, but I mean, it just seems like you're lifting one teammate up just to kind of, you know what I mean, especially with all the media, like I mean, it's probably about 1,000 or maybe 10,000 posts about De'Aaron Fox, like 10,000 memes about De'Aaron Fox right now. So you're
And
lifting
we
up one
adding to it.
teammate.
We
Huh,
we adding to it too.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Mr. Fox, but it's like you're lifting up Dylan Harper, but then it's like but then again, like it's another star point guard on your team, and you're not really saying much about him. So then it's like you kind of like not bringing them down, but then it's just like not really no reassurance. But yeah, it's gonna be it's gonna be interesting to see what they do though. But no, but yeah, I mean to talk about Harper though a little bit more, like I mean he's box office. I mean he's got it all. He's got the confidence. He's a physical driver. He's a physical player, right? Like he's not afraid of contact. And you love that. He wants to drive. Like I mean, even because I believe this was game five. Yeah, like even yeah, I believe so. Because yeah, that's what happened. Well, the games are so close together. Like I'm kind of getting them together. Uh, like it was like a minute or 30 or something, and he had the ball and he tried to drive it up when they were down. That was game five, right? But he missed the layup. It was like in crunch time. That was game five, I believe. Yeah, I
I
think.
think so.
Yeah. So it's like he definitely
Feel
has
like
the
that's more.
confidence. Yeah, and I think it's just some things they gotta watch, right? And I hope and they have I think the Spurs have a lot of great film, in this, and not even from the terms of like just the good things that they did, but I think just some of the mistakes that they did. That I think like if they're able to like chop it up visually, I think it'll like send a big message. You know what I mean? Like, hey, like, yes, Dylan Harper, like you're driving and we believe you're having a great game, right? You're like, you go 10 for 19, like you're having an efficient night, but then you choose to drive, when we're down by two or four, when maybe you could have slowed it down a bit and we could have got maybe a better shot. You know what I mean? So things like that, like just awareness, you know what I mean? Like just awareness and, but that comes with experience, of course, and then someone also brought up a good point too in one of the comments that I saw. Like, I mean, because I don't know if you saw like the video of them pre-game, like, like kind of hitting the ball with their pelvis. Like they were like hitting the ball to each other like with their pelvis or something like that.
I did
And
not
then
see that.
yeah, but like I don't know. I mean, the way the media were, it could have been AI. Who knows? But I don't think it was though. But like they were like kind of hitting the ball at each other's pelvis, and like people were like thinking like, and I think this was before the game five. So like, yeah, I think that the meme was like, yeah, like this is what they're doing before an elimination game, like you know what I mean, like the mentality. But like, so it looks like they're playing around and stuff. But then also like to what I was going to bring up, and what somebody else brought up in the comments, like I mean they're young, right? Like Dylan Harper is basically fresh out of high school. If you think about it, like had barely he barely played a year in college. You know what I mean? So it's like he barely played a year in college, maybe half a year, or maybe three, or maybe a third of the year he played in college, right? And then Stephon Castle, he's very young as well, right? Like he's what year is he in? Maybe his second? Yeah, so this is his second season. So he's basically 2 years ago he was in high school, right? Like if you think about it, like you know what I mean? So like these are some very, very young players, you know what I mean? And you gotta grow up fast handling millions of dollars, you know what I mean? And just the whole world just at your kind of your fingertips in a sense in terms of just like what you can buy and things like that, right? And what you can have and just the access that you have to certain things. So I mean, I think this is just a great. I'm gonna keep saying it. I mean, it's just a great experience for the team, and definitely a shout out to the Knicks though for sure. And I mean, Brunson, he had a great 45. OG didn't have the best shooting night. Cat didn't have the best night. 1 of 7. So for Brunson to pull up with this great performance was truly great.
Brunson saw those OG for MVP. um comments after game 4, and he was like, "All right, I'm gonna lock in because I MVP have to be mine."
No facts.
Oh, but I was like, I think I also wanted to give a shout out to Mitchell Robinson, just because Cat fouled out in this game, so it kind of
Hmm.
took a lot. They were kind of hacking him a little bit early on in the series, so for him to come
Right.
in and position himself in a good way to continue the momentum, even when Cat went out with those 6 fouls, and but at the end of the game, and also
Right.
coach, you know, came to the finals, back, was it 05? 06 with
I
the
think
Cavs.
so.
Um, lost to the Spurs. So to be able to come back and win this championship, and do everything that he's done for New York, I think it's very impressive. Um,
2007.
2007, damn, almost way off. Um, but yeah, just everything he's done, I think it's a great story to tell to come in from here. Not only beating the Spurs, who he lost to in his previous finals, but also beating Fox, who he coached with the Kings before the Kings
Dang,
decided to fire him. Um, it's a good story there. And you
forgot
could
about that.
tell, yeah, yeah. You could tell
He played this.
yeah,
He played the Spurs too.
yeah. I think it was Cavs Spurs and Spurs won.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Jeez.
yeah.
Yeah, that's full circle for real.
Mhm.
See, this is. Oh, my bad. Were you gonna keep going? Were you got something else?
No, it was just the last thing I was gonna mention is how you could tell the good connection he has with that whole team. That
Yeah.
one team. I really
In
like
one
it.
year though, like in 1 year at that, or
Yeah,
not even a year. Like, I mean, you get a couple months of training camp, and then and then you're pretty much off to the races after that.
yeah. He did good.
Yeah.
He did really good, and I think that's a big part in I keep going back to this interview that he did because I really liked his answer when they were talking about Cat, and he was like, "It's my responsibility, to be able to talk to Cat and know where to fit Cat in properly in this offense." And I don't know, I just really like that he's taking accountability, and you could tell, I think that part of him taking accountability was that shows the connection he has with the team, and how can they kind of work together. So I think that was very important, something I really like.
No, for sure. I think yeah, I mean, I agree with everything you say. Yeah. I mean, he's definitely I mean, he's up this price too as well, right? You know, um, he's been to the finals before. Like he's had certain wins, like certain monumental wins, like of course, like that in the not it wasn't the Olympics, but what I guess what do you call it, FIBA or the World Cup, or however whatever they call like before the Olympics, like when he led Nigeria to that upset win, over Team USA, like, right? So it's like, or even just making Sacramento a relevant winning franchise, right? Like, he's definitely got some pedigree for sure. And no, I mean for him to, be able to get his get back as well, against the Spurs. It makes you. This is probably a little bit off topic, but this kind of shows you the type of research that like you got to do as a better. You know, I don't condone gambling, at all. But I mean, well, I don't like promote it, like promote gambling. But like this is like it makes sense. Like you know what I mean? Like you know, coach lost to the Spurs. The assistant coach of the finals, the assistant coach who's also the best player's dad lost to the Spurs. Like you know what I mean? And like things like that. And then now like both of them are able to kind of come back around and get a win. So it's just interesting, how stuff just comes full circle, you know.
Yeah, that's it. It's a great moment for the Knicks, man. Shout out to the Knicks, everybody there. I feel like sometimes throughout the finals we've talked a lot about the Spurs and not enough about the Knicks, but I
Yeah,
feel it's because the Knicks have been so well structured and have done everything so well. It's like, what do we talk about the Knicks? They're just a good team. They've been
yeah,
playing well.
yeah. Shout out to the people hanging from the light poles, right? You know, Shout out to the upper body strength to even get up onto the light pole, onto the traffic light, right? Shout out to, you know, the mechanics, who were able to take off that one piece of bus, you know. Um, Shout out to
You know they set it on fire too, right?
just why? Like why? Like, shout out to the fire extinguishers, you know what I mean? For putting out that fire. Cause like, why would you set a school bus on fire? How the kids gonna get to school and learn if you gonna take away their only means of transportation? Like it's crazy. But
I saw I saw somebody had put a they went outside like their I guess apartment building. They put a projector up and they projected the game onto the side of a building.
oh, that's
Um,
cool. I
and
like
then
that.
they had a whole crowd there as they watched the game
Oh,
live.
that's awesome.
That's fire. It really
That's
shows that
that's
community.
that's community. Yes, that's community right there. I like that. See, yeah, that's dope. I like stuff like that. Yeah. Kind of remind me they did something similar. Like Armature Works, they did something similar for the college football playoffs.
Oh
I
yeah.
mean, when Miami, I think it was Miami and who they were playing. Miami, somebody before they went to the championship. But like that was cool. Like they had the whole like community out. They had chairs and everything. Like they just put it on a projector and everybody was watching. Like, it was wild. It was cool. But are we done with the finals? Because I have one more question about the Knicks.
Yeah.
Are we done with Game 7 and everything?
We never got to no game 7. But
Dang. Let's go. Let's get into Game 7. I mean, I don't know. I don't really know. It's not really much to. I mean, it's kind of been the same. It's been the same game, like every game. Like it's Spurs have a lead. Spurs lose the lead, and then
they
it's
kept
just
you at the edge of your seat though.
yeah, yeah, it does. It does. But my question was gonna be, well, I guess it's still about the finals, but if we're done talking about the games, but the Knicks have won, right? They are NBA champions for what second time? This their second franchise championship. Now it is early. Oh, what happened?
No, go ahead.
It is very early. Like free agency is probably like 20 years away, right? You know, um, is this team good to repeat? You know, did you
I
see
think
any weaknesses?
they keep the team intact, um, for the most part. Because again, don't ruin what's not broken. The team kind of figured everything out at the end. Pick and see. Since the playoffs started, they only lost 3 games. Two of those was in the first round when they were still trying to figure everything out, and one was in the finals. Like they've been on such a good hot roll, and it seems like everybody on the team is like so good with each other. Don't don't change anything. Don't make any drastic moves. But maybe sign a few more bench pieces, maybe throughout, so they could play out throughout the season. To, not have Brunson expect Russell to drop 45 throughout the regular season.
Mm,
Have some more pieces at the bench. Um, but yeah, I think they keep the main core together. Just have pieces in the bench for the regular season.
yeah. So I mean, of course teams are going to get better, right? You're you go from the hunter to the hunted, right? Like now you're now you're at the top of the food chain. So yeah, I mean they have a good core. The starting five is definitely great. Um, really no need to, especially just defensively, just the versatility with them defensively. You know what I mean? And just the different skill sets offensively that each player is able to bring. I think Josh Hart's a very valuable like piece for that starting five, just because like I mean, of course he's gonna like rebound and do the dirty work and things like that, and he's a good defender. but I think more so his secondary playmaking, that he's able to provide, next to Brunson. I think that's invaluable. Can't really put a price tag on that, but I think that's definitely something that's been great for them, and clearly that backcourt has been working for them. I mean, it got them a championship, but yeah, I think they definitely got some a good nucleus going, and just yeah, like you said, just build around. I mean, Alvarado played great. I think you got to keep Alvarado. Like he was great. He's a great back. He's oh wait, it's kind of faded. Yeah, make it. Yeah, yeah. There it is. Yeah. Damn, I wonder if we can make that a thumbnail. That'd be crazy. But
First there was JJ Barea, now it's Jose Alvarado.
who next, man? Who's next? But yeah, no, I mean, Alvarado, even Shamit provided some good minutes, right? No, I think they definitely got some pieces. I hear a lot about Tolik too. Like I hear that he's got game. I mean, he hasn't really, of course. I mean, there's so much people ahead of him. You know what I mean? That you're not really able to see his full talents. But I mean, you hear a lot about him, and he's not really, and there's not really a room on the rotation for him just yet. So they may, like you said, they may have what they need. Just got to get better. Because I mean, people are going to come for you next year, right?
Yeah, yeah, I agree. Shout out the Knicks, man.
Shout out to the Knicks, man, for sure.
Um, I think before we finished, there was a piece of news that came in today. Um, it was kind of alluding to it, mentioning gambling. Um, if you connect gambling
Ah,
to
okay.
to Chauncey Billups, who couldn't coach the Trailblazers this season because he was gambling. So Splitter, came in, brought them to the playoffs, which was an unbelievable accomplishment because nobody saw that coming. And the Trailblazers decided they weren't gonna hire him for some reason. Um, so boom, here comes the Chicago Bulls. Sweep him away. He is now the new head coach of the Chicago Bulls. How do you feel about that?
Another Spurs connection. Uh, you know, uh, you got a Spurs player, a former Spurs player. Um, this must tell me, this must mean that, uh, well, I'll get into him getting the position. So I mean, Billy Donovan, not really too many wins, too many over 500 seasons, right? Um, had that one year, where they lost in the first round. It's his second season, 46 and 36. So, I don't know, just really hasn't been able to, get that franchise going. You know what I mean? And, Tiago was, of course, placed in a very uncomfortable position, right? Like, you're supposed to be an assistant, you're supposed to support the head guy. Head guy gets jammed up, it's your show, right? Like you got to run things right, and you're able to lead them to a playoffs, and the team's looking good. They're playing great. Of course they came up short in the playoffs, but I mean they were definitely they were still able to keep the wins going even with their head guy out, right? So yeah, I'm excited to see what he's able to do with this young team. Uh, there's definitely some talent. Of course you still got Giddy. You know, Buzelis, he's a solid player. There's still some pieces, on the squad. So I'm excited to see what he's able to do with this young squad. This must tell me that Billis must be coming back next year then.
Without it.
Really?
Do you think about it? Do you honestly think the NBA will allow Chauncey Billups to come back after a gambling lawsuit?
That's fair. Well, what if
I
he
don't
like
think
comes
he.
back?
I don't think he's coming back. Go ahead.
What if he comes back innocent though? Like, what if it's
I don't know, man. I don't know. The NBA, just even the fact that he was, blamed for gambling. I mean, man, he could come back innocent, but he was one way or another. He could be innocent and still be involved. You know.
yeah?
Um, I just don't see a scenario where or maybe I could see a scenario. I just think it's highly unlikely that he'll be
Mhm.
back coaching the Trailblazers. I don't know why he's still not fired yet. Because he's like suspended without pay by them.
Right.
Um, so seeing as how the the owner of the Trailblazers is like cutting costs, took the T-shirts away, firing like 70 employees. I'm surprised he's still on the payroll. Because I doubt the NBA will let him come back. But who knows what's going on over there? Trailblazers kind of worry me sometimes with that new owner.
Yeah. So I don't know. I mean, I don't know who. I wonder who's the coach, unless they have an eye on somebody else. Because I mean, who else is gonna? Like, I wonder who else is gonna be the.
Whoever's the cheapest.
Yeah. So they still. Well, this is Wikipedia, so you got to take it with a grain of salt. But they have him as the suspended head coach of the Portland Trailblazers.
Yep,
So
they suspended him without pay. I think I looked it up when I saw the Cavs player got hired notification.
so he's still within the organization. So, but
Uh-huh.
I mean, are there any expectations, for the Bulls? I mean, in Splitter, like, I mean, Billy Donovan has 6 seasons. So, in today's day and age, I don't know if Splitter gets 6 seasons, especially like with his low tenure as a head coach. So it's like, I don't know, like, what are even the expectations?
Good culture. I think they're the expectation. He over exceeded with the Trailblazers. I think he, helped develop that team. I think the Bulls want that same thing. Help develop this team, build a culture, um, help to get us somewhere.
Facts. Oh, yeah, I hope he gets it done. He's definitely got a chance to show what he can do. It's gonna take some building for sure. It's gonna take some pieces because they're definitely a young squad, and you know, Bulls pretty much cleaned house too. I think they cleaned some clean. I think they let go of some people in the front office as well. So it's
Good
pretty
stuff.
much a new start, fresh start. So which is kind of what you want, right? So especially as a young head coach. So yeah, we'll see how that goes.
Thanks. I agree. Good luck to the Bulls, man.
Good luck to the Bulls. Well, congratulations to the Knicks once again. Uh, please no more. Just leave the man in the Dennis Rodman jersey alone, please. All right, he just wants to get back to his car. Um, you know, leave anybody in the Spurs jersey alone. Okay, they just like black and white. I mean, that's just what it is. So, but yeah, congrats to the Knicks though. You got anything else?
Parade's on Thursday, so be on the lookout. See
Word.
how that goes.
All right, you got the flights, right? You booked the flights.
All right. So fun fact. All right. I wasn't gonna say this, because I don't want to dox myself, but I'm kind of sad because I'm going to New York, and I was hoping I was gonna be in New York, um, either for the parade or hopefully when they won for game if it ever went to seven. I will not be there, sadly. I just needed the Spurs to get one more win, take it to six, and maybe I would have made it to that parade. But now the parade is happening before I get there. Bad times.
So is that a no to the flights?
No.
Mm.
Hey, unless you work for your magic and you move up the flight.
Well, it looks like you're gonna be a part of the cleanup because that parade's gonna take. You're gonna be cleaning up to the ball drop, bro.
I don't know. Hopefully, I feel like they do some New York stuff and extend they have like a party for the next 2 weeks. Maybe I could join in something.
You gonna see they're gonna have the ball drop on TV, and you gonna still see people in the background with the trash bags, still cleaning up trash and everything. Like, yeah, it's gonna be wild. A championship parade in New York in today's New York. Oh man,
Shout out New York, man. Shout out New York.
shall be interesting. Shall be interesting. But no, congrats to that fan base. Congrats to the team. Congrats to the coaching staff, the players, their families. You know, yeah. Congrats to Spurs fans for blowing leads. Right? It happens. It happens. Well, yeah, it's been another episode of the ONJ Pod. Like, comment, subscribe, turn on post notifications. Follow us on all our social medias, and we'll catch you in the next video. We out.